Hey guys, something happened to me recently that I cannot eat meat anymore. But let me tell you why. So as many of you know, I'm in a spiritual journey. And I started my spiritual journey about 2 years ago. And I'm sure many of you know what is spiritual journey. So the concept of spiritual journey is we believe that we are all one. There's a lot of things you have to do in order for you to stay on a spiritual path. And part of doing spiritual journey, you also have to meditate. So a year and a half ago, my body was telling me to challenge myself not to drink alcohol. And mind you, I do not drink a lot of alcohol. I drink alcohol occasionally and socially, but not heavily. So I ended up challenging myself not to drink alcohol for a month. And after a month, I realized I was so proud of myself. So I thought to myself, you know what? Why not add one more month? See if I can do it. And another month later, I did not touch alcohol. And despite all the challenges not being able to drink my favorite alcohol drink, I did it. So after 2 months of challenging myself, I asked myself, should I continue not drinking anymore or should I take a break? And finally, I've decided not to drink anymore or at all. I quit 100% drinking alcohol. And when I made my decision, I told my partner about it. And he was like, are you sure you don't want to drink anymore? Because I know you have a lot of favorites. And mind you, he doesn't drink alcohol at all. He quit 6 years ago. So I told him, yes, I'm very sure about that. And now, a year and a half later, zero alcohol in my system. I felt so good and I felt so light. Now let's go back to not eating meat part. So a month ago, there was another voice in my head says, don't eat meat anymore. And in my mind, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But at the same time, I thought about it. Is this another command from my spirit guide? So a month ago, I attended a lot of gatherings, weddings or family gatherings. And of course, there was a lot of meat in front of me. And some families were offering me meat because they know I eat meat. And by the way, I'm also not a crazy meat eater. I eat meat when it's in front of me. So when I try the meat, for some reason, I cannot even swallow it. And every time I try to swallow it, it's either no taste or it doesn't taste good at all. And when I tried swallowing it, my body feels so weird. And for some reason, I feel kind of like feeling guilty for eating it. And at this point, I'm not even craving to eat meat at all. And for some reason, my body is craving fruits and vegetables only. As for now, I'm not gonna decide not to eat meat completely because, hey, I'm still human. I'm gonna try to eat meat if I can, but I'm not gonna eat it if my body don't want it. And as for now, I will try to remain eating seafood. So far, my body is not rejecting it. But the fact that I'm not eating meat, I feel so good. My mind and mental state feels so good. And on top of that, the moment that I stopped eating meat, I lost a lot of weight. Normally, I would be like 100 to 102 pounds. I stopped eating meat. I became 96 pounds. And that's the lowest weight I've ever had. And the last time I checked my weight, I was 97.8, which is not bad. What about you guys? Have you tried being on a spiritual journey? If so, what are the things that change in your life? What was your purpose of drinking when you know it's not good for your brain? Alcohol destroys brain cells permanently, not smart. As I mentioned from my previous video that I'm not a heavy drinker. I mean, I should have been an alcoholic person because my dad was an alcoholic. So I started drinking in my early 20s. But the moment that I started drinking, I realized that my tolerance in alcohol is very low. And every time I would go on a date, my date would tell me, oh wow, you're a cheap date, lucky me. And when I drink one glass of cocktail, my head would start buzzing. And one bottle of beer would make me drunk. And that is why for me, I treated alcohol as part of socializing because I don't like the feeling of being drunk or getting drunk. So yeah, that was the purpose of me drinking, was to socialize. Rather than I have to drink and get drunk and socialize and have fun. That was never me. Some people cannot have fun without drinking, but I'm the opposite. And that is why it was so easy for me to quit drinking. Now, on the other hand, people who would drink and get drunk is because due to many factors. People who drink heavy alcohol use it as part of their temporary bandage. People who suffers from emotional pain, depression, and high anxiety use alcohol as part of their bandage. And for those people who doesn't know where the word alcohol came from, it actually came from the word alcohol. Alcohol. Alcohol means demon. And that is why when people drink alcohol and get drunk thinking that their problems would go away, it's actually not going away. In fact, their problem becomes worse. And that is why people use alcohol as part of their temporary bandage. And the reason why they don't get better is because they refuse to fix their trauma. They refuse to accept their pain and refuse to acknowledge that their pain exists. And that is why when we see people who drinks a lot, get drunk a lot, we should not judge them or be critical towards them because we don't know what kind of pain and suffering they are carrying. But for us people, we judge them thinking that they're bad because they drink alcohol rather than understand them, have compassion towards them, and feel pity for them. Because we don't know the kind of pain they're suffering and the kind of trauma they're enduring. And just because we don't drink and they drink, that makes us a better and perfect person. No, we're not. We should be more kind and empathetic rather than being judgmental and critical. That's all. Very evil looking animals that will come out, coming from the underground. So I posted that video last February of this year. And in that video, I saw in my vision that there are going to be a lot of demons, evil coming out from the underground. And there will be a lot of death that will happen. And if you look at the video, you will understand what I'm talking about. So recently, I saw these videos from people that there's actually a new movie coming up very soon. The title is Gog and Magog. And when I saw that video and the people were talking about it, it instantly gave me goosebumps because it reminds me of the vision that I saw and the video that I posted last February. It made me feel like, oh my God, is it really gonna happen? And I want you to know, guys, that everything that will happen in the near future has already been predicted and it's already been pre-planned. Whatever happens to humanity and whatever they're going to do to humans and any sorts of events and situations, they are already showing it to us. They're already letting us know that it is going to happen in the future. But because it's just a movie, we don't really take it seriously. Because again, it's just a movie, right? It's just made up. So why would we want to believe that?